Hello and welcome to the third video, which is the last of the yellow jersey series, which is basically a series where I was just sharing about how to catch up if you're behind. So if you're behind with lectures, in the first video I did share how you should do that. In the second video I said, okay, if you're a bit behind and a bit under pressure, we need to revise content and also prepare for an assessment, how best to do that as well. So for you to understand a bit more context or get a bit more context about what this video is about, please do ensure that you watch the first two videos. A young disclaimer, because where I stay, Bram, has a lot of Vrrrrs around. So Vrrrr, please excuse me, it's not part of the shoot. And it is not that as a subscriber, I deliberately want to put in poor content. But the most important thing about President's Quarters is it is a matter of what is being shared. So the other sound effects, don't pay attention to them. It is between me and you. Now let's focus. Now the techniques that I've mentioned in the first two videos by no means replace the need to practice. Remember, repetition is queen. What do I mean about that? The more you do something, it's actually the more you get good at it. So if you're actually behind with lectures and need to prepare for an assessment, watch the first two videos on how to do that. And when you have a bit of time, please ensure that you get in more practice so that you're confident when you get into an assessment. Repetition is queen. So I'd rather have you do one hard question paper twice or 3 times than do 5 easy questions. So that particular question paper, you can do it first time, obviously it will trap you. Second time, it will trap you and shake your bit and then mark it. And then once you've done that, tomorrow, the following day, or later in the evening, you'll do it again. That is to reinforce those difficult concepts about that particular topic so that you become a master in them. I have a good friend of mine that reads a number of books. His name is Ndabelelo, a very close friend of mine. And he once quoted an author he read. He said, in life you need to get to a point where you get good at something and you stop thinking when you actually do it. That level of mastery is key. So after catching up, do ensure engaging in some form of practice so that you can master. So that when you go into an exam, you don't have to think too much because you've already understood that particular concept. So if it happens that you are never behind, ensure you invest your time in a bit more practice so that you master different concepts. But if you are behind and you have to catch up as well, apply the techniques I've given you and ensure you squeeze in a practice or two. Another key thing, if you are challenged with time, is a day before the assessment or 2 days before the assessment, a key thing to do is to deal with reinforcement. So the different tutorials you've done before, look at the principles that were covered in those tutorials. So I advise that as you do tutorials and mark it, have some nodes, learning nodes next to them to say this is what I missed and this is what I'm learning from the tutorial. And then some days before the assessment, that is mostly what your revision should cover, or a day before the assessment where you don't deal with new content. Because if you deal with new content very close to an assessment, it may become difficult for you to master it, right? And then get into an assessment with a bit of confusion. So rather reinforce what you know and then do what you can with what you didn't really master. So I'd rather have you going in an assessment very confident of what you know so that you apply yourself properly than confused. Because if you're confused, that's one of the biggest enemies when you go write an assessment. My part and strategies: never substitute practice. That one is important. Lastly, remember, new habits take time to build. So even the videos before the yellow jersey series, I've mentioned different techniques you need to apply so that you can become more effective as a student. And I deliberately made sure that I actually put these out now, way before examination, so that you start building these new habits as quick as you can. That by the time you get to an assessment or an examination, you are on point. For example, your phone. You've been with your phone and you've not been with your phone over an extended period of time. To get away from it for an extended period of time as well, it will take a lot out of you. But remember, it will be worth it. Old habits die hard, but new habits emerge harder. And once you have them, they never leave you. This is the end of the Yellow Jersey series. Thank you very much for those who have subscribed. We have grown so well since we've launched. Please continue sharing, continue mentioning, continue advising your friends to come through to the President's quarters and join in and subscribe. Subscription button will appear here, and my past videos will appear here as well. Do hit the notification button to ensure that you get notification of my next videos. I'm excited to continue shooting these videos for you guys. Please join in and ensure you become a part of this big and growing family. This is your home of tools. Thank you very much. Sharp, sharp.